a community before you head to a foreign land. The UChicago Center in Delhi is happy to support you in ways towards your UChicago journey as well as during your UChicago journey, and even when you become an alumni. We hope that at the end of this meeting, some of you will have answers to the questions that you have put in the RSVP form. We will try to address a lot of them, and I hope we will also come with friends before we head to Chicago. Without taking any further time, I call onto the stage with Katie Hrinyak, Associate Vice President of UChicago Global, to the gracious reception. Thank you.
Jubakshi. So congratulations to everybody for joining the UChicago community. Welcome. We're really excited to see you in Hyde Park, and to those of you virtually, although I can't see you here. For those of you who are in the room, how many people are incoming first years, undergraduates? Okay, we got a couple, and graduate students. All right. And how many are current undergraduate students in the room? Current grad students. All right, so you will have lots of resources here to ask lots of questions about what it's like to live in Hyde Park and be a student at UChicago. So I do want to just, informally welcome you to joining the more than 6,800 international students that we have at the University of Chicago. University of Chicago has been a global institution since its inception. We've been committed to a diversity of thought and perspective, and our international students certainly bring that to us and are really, really important to the fabric of our community in Hyde Park. So really looking forward to you. You're in the center in Delhi, and it's also a testament to the university's commitment to global engagement around the world. The center in Delhi is one of 5 global locations we have. In addition to our center here in Delhi, we also have a center in Beijing, a center in Paris, a campus in Hong Kong where you can actually get your EMBA degree maybe later in your careers, a campus in London. Also, you can also get your EMBA degree there. So I hope in addition to this center that you have the opportunity to visit and be exposed to some of those places in your travels, both while you're a student at UChicago, but also as an alum. And I think with that, I'm just going to turn it over to Leni Chaudhuri, who's the executive director of our center in Delhi, and she'll talk to you a little bit more about our center in Delhi. Welcome again.
Thank you, Jubakshi. Thank you, Katie. Well, again, a very warm welcome to the Delhi Center in Delhi. I must tell you, we are going to the best place in the United States. In India. So very, very warm welcome to all of you. I will just take a couple of minutes to tell you about what the center is and what the center does. So as Katie mentioned, the center is part of the university's 5 global centers and one of the Asia centers, which has been contributing to the university's mandate across various disciplines, across different geographies. It furthers the university's objectives of expanding opportunities for partnerships with local institutions by nurturing connections with local government, media, and the broader intellectual community. The center in Delhi was established exactly 10 years ago to serve scholars at all levels across all disciplines. It serves as a convening space for UChicago faculty, alumni, students, and to have Sundays to explore new ideas for each academic and forge the academic collaboration. It also provides opportunities for interaction with the university's main campus based in Hyde Park, Chicago. The programming at the center is focused on 3 core areas: science, energy, medicine, and public health, business, economics, and policy, culture, society, law, and the arts. Through academic and programs and outreach, and the scholars use the center to address scientific, political, social, and cultural issues that are important to India and to the world. The Delhi Center is home to research programs that support the University of Chicago's principle of rigorous inquiry in the local context. And I will just share with you some of the awesome programs that the center hosts here. The first I mention is the Energy Policy Institute of Chicago's India chapter, that is EPIC India. It was established in 2014 to confront the challenge of energy crisis and climate change through cutting-edge research and targeted engagement with stakeholders. EPIC India is employing a comprehensive strategy to effect real change through foundational research to solve vital problems, policy engagement to create lasting impact, and communicating the evidence to drive change. The approach is again, which may be of interest to some of you. It's called the International Innovation Corps. It's a social impact fellowship program based at University of Chicago's Harris School of Public Policy. The India chapter is located here. At IIC, we identify and mentor young professionals to partner with public and social sector in solving complex developmental challenges with a pragmatic and data-driven approach. The next program is called the Development Innovation Lab. DILA brings researchers in different fields together with Indian government entities, firms, and nonprofits to use the tools of economics to identify, test, refine, and scale interventions which have the potential to benefit millions of people in India. The next program that I wanted to mention about is the Data Policy and Innovation Center, which is a unique partnership that the University of Chicago has with the government of Odisha, and is engaged in designing a program to use data and research to drive the governance programs have potential to be scaled up across India. With this, I would like to welcome you once again and request you to stay connected while you are a student and after you have passed out. The center will be an important resource in your educational journey as well as professional journey. I can promise that to you. Welcome once again.
Thank you so much for those wonderful words, Katie and Leni. I would now like to call upon the podium Swapna Shaw, Deputy Director of Career Advancement at the College at the University of Chicago.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to the University of Chicago. I want to join Leni, Katie, and Jubakshi in welcoming you to the wonderful family that we have at the University of Chicago, and look forward to welcoming you in Hyde Park this fall. Like Jubakshi said, I'm the Deputy Director for our Career Advancement Office, which is the Career Services Office, basically, and we primarily work with undergraduate students. So I guess I'm talking to the two young men that raised their hands as undergrads incoming first years. We will start working with you before you start campus. We are all about, there are two main things that the Career Services Office does at the University of Chicago. Early engagement, so we will start working with you right away. And then we also believe very strongly in experiential education. So we are going to give you as many experiences, as many robust in internships and job shadowing opportunities and career tracks, very similar to what we're doing with these other undergraduate students that are here in Delhi and going to Ahmedabad. So as many opportunities as you can take while you're at UChicago, you should do that. Start working with us as soon as possible, whether it's to just look over your resume or to help you write a personal statement or a cover letter or whatever that might be. At the university, I oversee the teams that help students that are in law, in healthcare, and in education. But we have verticals that will help you no matter what you're in careers in teams. So careers in education, careers in computer science, careers in business, and everything else that you can think of. So we have experts in those fields that are there to help you. So please take advantage of the office. There are lots of wonderful resources there for you. I am actually very jealous of all the resources that you have because I didn't have it when I was an undergrad and my daughter goes to another college. I won't tell you which one. And she doesn't have nearly the kinds of resources that we offer our students at UChicago. So make sure you take advantage of your time there, take advantage of the resources, take advantage of our office. We're there to support you and make sure that by the time you become a third year, your resume is so chock full of experiences that finding a job or landing in or law school, whatever that might be, is not difficult for you by the time you graduate. So yeah, so welcome again, and thanks so much for being here this afternoon. I'm gonna also just quickly tell you that I was born and raised here in India, and I now live in America, and I work at the University of Chicago. So if you have questions about being an international student or transitioning from India to America and all that, aside from our undergraduate students here, I'll be happy to help as well. So thanks again. Welcome to the university.
Thank you so much, everyone, for those wonderful remarks. We will now begin with the much-awaited panel discussion on life at UChicago. And to answer all your questions about transitioning from India to UChicago, from whatever city you're from, every one of you will be in Hyde Park together. And to answer your questions, I'm really happy to invite our panelists. Please join me in welcoming Prerna Vij, our recent alumni from the Committee on International Relations program, Shyamji Yadav, who is a senior student of Master in Public Policy at the Harris School of Public Policy, and Parjanya Tiwari, a second-year undergraduate student in the college. Yeah. One second. So I sent out an RSVP form where a lot of you noted the questions that you would like to have addressed in this panel. Most of the questions, unsurprisingly, were about accommodation. So we will get to that very soon. But before this, can all of you introduce yourselves, your affiliation to the university? And I was thinking a good way to start the conversation would be to state your favorite library in the university, because there are so many of them. You want to go ahead? Sure.
Everyone, I'm Shyamji Yadav, and I'm a second-year MPP student, and I'm traveling to India as I'm a summer research fellow for UChicago Medicine, and I'm interviewing psychologists all across India over the summers, and this is why I'm here. And we like really good, like I still.
Hi, I'm Prerna. I graduated from the Committee on International Relations in 2023, and now I'm heading back for my PhD. And my favorite library was the Reg. It's a bit depressing. I spent most of my year there, so I really like it.
Hi everyone, I'm Parjanya. I'm a rising sophomore, and I think my favorite library would also be the Reg because it's so conducive to working. Like you see everyone working, and then you also get motivated. And I'd say my favorite floor is 5.
That's so interesting because for me, I think Hyper was the most fascinating library, but it's where you don't get things done because it's so soothing. It's a great place to go and just sit and chill. Or nap, yeah, or nap. Great, thanks. And now maybe we can get to the accommodation question. I was thinking we could structure this question in firstly, what are the streets and avenues that you and your friends lived in while you were in Hyde Park, while you are in Hyde Park, and where you all are living right now for undergrads, if you have any advice, and any other comments on accommodation that you may have. Yeah? Do you want to start? Yeah.
So for undergraduates, there's a requirement for 6 quarters whenever you start your degree that you have to stay on campus, and we have about 6 residence halls, I'm thinking. So there are a lot of opportunities for you to have either a double or single or an apartment which is not really conducive for undergrads, like first or second years. But initially, if you want to have like a core UChicago experience, a lot of people would want to go for doubles because they also want to have like an inbuilt friend, like someone who, and I think that is why I personally chose a double. But of course, if you have certain study habits that are probably different from other people, then you would want to go for a single. And all dorm rooms are really amazing. I was in Woodlawn, and I see a lot of, like, I've made a lot of my friends that are in Woodlawn. It's very easy for us to all hang out. And there are many lounges in the campus as well, which are like, you can study there, you can nap there, you can do basically everything you want. And it's a very good community space that they've formed.
So I think I love most of Hyde Park. I think entire Hyde Park, and people live from 51st to 62. So, and also because we have good transportation facility, it's walkability, it's good all across the campus. I think the entire Hyde Park, and even people, I know people who live in downtown, they are using the UChicago Center as a graduate student. So I think that's quite, Hyde Park is good, and people can be from as well. Whatever is preferred.
Where are you living right now?
So I'm living on 60th Street, and I'm living in a UChicago building.
Okay.
So there's residential properties by UChicago where you can go and look out properties. And you can lease directly from UChicago is what I preferred. I'm on 60th Street with where my high school apartment policies. So
Can I quickly ask you how you found your housing? Like you said, Chicago lease, because a lot of students were asking, how do you find accommodation on campus or in Hyde Park?
Okay, so there are multiple ways you can look at MAC properties. There are Ivy residences. These are private providers. You can also look at apartments.com. This is a portal. And I choose residential. If you just Google residential properties UChicago, you'll find the UChicago link to the UChicago managed properties, and there are plenty from 58 to 60th and all across, and you can choose based on your preference.
Thank you. Prerna?
It's been a while since I was there, but so I was living on the 52nd Street, right near Target. Like Target was in front. Target was in front of my house, so that was really nice. But I like when we were looking for apartments, one of the things that was suggested to me was that you find something that has a window, because it gets really depressing in Chicago. So I would suggest getting a window in your apartment because it snows for like 4 months. And we think we know cold. No clue. Like we have no idea what cold means. So a window was a necessity for me. And then also like walkability is great in Hyde Park. I love walking. I would never take the bus. I would walk to my class, which was like a 25-minute from my apartment. But yeah, if that's like, if you can, like, if you're able to walk and would want, then there are much sections, the area that are a little further away from the main campus where the classes are. And then there's like people who go to the law school are mostly probably in the 60th Street. That place, I think you live there.
I live
Yeah.
61st and Ellis.
Yeah, I
Never ventured that far.
but yeah, 52nd Street and leased through Mac apartments. They were pretty decent. The prices were good, and
They were
also very
good with maintenance and stuff like that. Our apartment was flooded, which was a win for me. But yeah, those were my suggestions.
Just wanted to add to, like, for context, 61st Street is considered like south of South Chicago, like south of Hyde Park. So that's why she never went there much.
Yeah.
But Harris is on 60th Street for all the MPP folks here. So it would be preferable if you guys could, like, live on 60th. Yeah. I think safety-wise, I never felt unsafe there, but there is a taboo, I would tell you that. But yeah. And can I just also ask you, what kind of range were you paying for your accommodation? That was also a very common question, if you're comfortable sharing.
So I pay 1,100 for studio, and I live alone. But people have, I mean, I know friends who are living in like 700, 2,000 to 2,500 US dollars. So you get all kinds of, based on your preference and affordability. And 60th Street, I feel safe on 60th Street, and because all the buildings are usually.
I know, yeah.
Yeah.
What was your, if you're comfortable sharing?
I think I paid like 875, including like everything, which is great for me. But I really liked it. Like I loved them with all my heart. So I loved art. And that was also one of the things that I was looking for, was that I didn't want to live alone in a new country where I don't know anyone. So we were 4 people living in a 5-bed, and the split was pretty decent. So Chicago real estate is like so great. I miss Chicago. But so yeah, I think you can possibly get a room if you're looking for the lower end and you want to share with flatmates and stuff like that. Then you can probably get something within the 700 to 1,000 range for a room. Of course, like if you want to go higher, my friends were living in apartments which were like studios, like 1,500. So it really depends on what the budget considerations are, but there's something for everyone there.
Just to add to that, I want to share my rent, which was $520. And with bills, it would come to $620, like in peak winters. So I lucked out, and just letting you all know, the 61st Street, because of its reputation, is also cheaper. And how I found something was through Marketplace. So you'll find a UChicago Maroon Marketplace. If you want, after this session, I can send you all an email with that website linked. Facebook Marketplace is also a great way to find houses, flatmates. A lot of listings are there on the groups. There are UChicago like flats and flatmates groups that you'll have on Facebook. It's a great connect among students, and maybe now all the people you meet here today, some of you may end up all together. So I would add that it's advisable to have flatmates. You're doing a very commendable job by living alone. I couldn't imagine doing that. I needed people around me in a completely new place. I'm not going to ask you about your rent because you're in a dorm. So maybe we can move on to safety, which was another major concern that a lot of people had. Chicago has its reputation of being unsafe. So what are your feelings about safety, like non-safe? You want to get? Oh, you can, yes, go ahead.
So I think if you like Google the statistics, Chicago is not like relatively safe or unsafer than most cities in the world. Most of you, I'm guessing, are from Delhi. I don't know what place people from Delhi come from to tell someone Chicago is unsafe. But I think Chicago safety files was honestly fine. Like I didn't think anything was like that blown out of proportion. Of course, there are more systemic issues as to why it's considered unsafe, especially the UChicago area. That's because the disparity is very high there. And as Jubakshi said, post the 60th Street, that is considered like Southside Chicago, and which is why there's this reputation. But I think in general, the campus was pretty decent. Hyde Park was great. It was like for a person who's from India, who's never ventured out in the night, I feel like that was a great time for me to be like that person. But yeah, those were my takeaways. I know people who had bad experiences there, but not to sound like a very judgmental person, but I feel like those are part of like a larger bunch of statistics that might be applicable to most large cities in the world, including India, like Chicago, New York. I don't know. So that's my personal opinion.
I would agree to this, that I think I was cautious in the beginning because I had heard so much about Chicago being unsafe, but I could be out at 12, and there were always these night shuttles to board within Hyde Park, and they'll take you from one place to another. If you needed to come out of the library, which is open all the time, and you need to come back home, it was fine to walk from the shuttle stop to your house. I made it out of the program, and I'm here.
I think in over a year, I don't think I've had any negative experience so far, and none of my friends. And we are a batch of all first year and all courses. It is 800, so that is good statistics. And because Harris School is on 60th Street, so going by that statistic, nobody had a very negative experience. Other than that, I think there is kind of opportunity to take precaution you would take in any city, which is not your native place, and there are different people, so you'll have. So I think there's one more thing recently added. There's a VR facility where you can book cab. You need not walk in the night alone. There are other ways as well. You can call for security, which will escort you to wherever you want to walk as well. In case you would like to walk to some place even in the night, you can get that service as well. So, I mean, UChicago really have ensured that we are all safe. There are crime of opportunity sometimes, but we can all follow the basic urban setting protocol and we'll all. I don't see it any different than any other city in this world.
What about you?
I think there are a lot of resources that they give out, and even like the modules that were made to do before college. For example, we had this whole lecture on UChicago Safe, which is an app that tells you how to connect with UCPD, which is on-campus police. And they always they have resources for you to reach out whenever you need it. And when we walk across campus as well, you see these poles of UCPD call numbers. And you can if you feel unsafe, you can always just reach out. And as they mentioned, there's Yes as well. So it runs from 5 p.m. to 4 a.m. So you're not ever, there's no, and it's also free. So you can always just go for that as well. There's nothing stopping you from going alone. And also the biggest advice that I received from upperclassmen was that whenever you go out in the night, always be with a group of people. I know that that's might be repetitive advice, but if you're with a group of people, you are more likely to feel safe yourself. So I think just for your own psychology, that's nice as well. And again, just going off of whatever has been said already, it is much more likely that it's just stereotyping than it is real, because whenever you're on campus, you feel the environment and you will feel it's generally not as bad as people make it out to be. And yeah, you're gonna be safe, you're gonna be fine. And as long as you're taking the precautions that have been advised to you, you'll be fine.
And just to also give you all another advice, my flatmate in Chicago, she had this safety trick, which was to have a fake wallet on her. So if she ever got mugged, it was a fake wallet with $10 in it and no cards, and she was all prepared. And that this would be the wallet she has in the front of her pocket, and her actual wallet would be in the back of her coat or jacket. So if any of you would like to take up, that's an idea definitely to in the event something unfortunate does happen. Weather advice was something that came up. Chicago is known for its brutal winters. I'm sure all of you can testify. Winters were never ending. It was 4 to 5 months long, like you said. It's very when you move in September or August, you're gonna have probably a month of good weather, and then it's just going to be getting colder and colder, and it will even snow in April, and probably May gets better. So it can even snow. Did it snow in May this time? It was until April, yeah, I think. So advice for Chicago winters. Do you have things to say about that?
I guess buy a coat that goes below your knee because it's so cold. And Costco best friend, go there, get the little coat you can find, and the warmest, they have these warm socks that they sell by the bundle. Get those, and waterproof shoes that have good grip. Because the sleet, if the snow doesn't get you, the sleet will, and you will be on the floor multiple times a day. That will definitely happen. And also get a coat which has a hood at the back, because your ears get cold. I didn't know there were parts of me that could get cold. Apparently, everything will get cold. So yeah, get a hooded coat. But yeah, layering is something that they told me, and that was wise advice. So layer as much as you can, because once you enter buildings, and I wasn't used to internal heating. Once you enter buildings, it's incredibly hot. And so if you have layers on, you can probably also shed them off easier. Be presentable for class. Is what but yeah, make sure the coat is waterproof.
It
Yeah.
also rains all the time. It rains all the time. Your bag should be waterproof. Buy a waterproof bag. These are all things I did, okay? My laptop was soaked through because I forgot that my bag wasn't waterproof. These are things that can happen to you. But yeah, that's my advice.
Plus one on the Costco. Like Costco snow jacket, I had just one. I survived the entire winter with it. It was $35, which is lower than anything else you'll get in other
I
places.
got mine for 70 and I made sure that it got transported from Chicago to DC where I'm going to vacation. So I'm going to be sticking to that code for the rest of my life. But yeah, like please, if you splurge on one thing, it should be your winter coat. Like that. Like just buy one and that should be fine.
And even the boots in Costco, they're great. They really, you don't flip on ice when you wear them. So that's good testimony for, it's like a Costco brand, like marketing happening here right now.
I think we need it.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think good waterproof shoes and not just a waterproof bag, you need a raincoat for your bag because water slips through the chains and a lot of people are used to work at the tech bar. We used to get, when it rained, I think in a day I got 3 people with water in their laptop. Only advice I'll give you right now is this position for 72 hours.
Does rice work if you put it in rice? No?
72 hours is the limit and one power, I think. And I think, but the winter is harsh, but the spring and summers make up for it. It's too good that time, I think. And yeah, I think you need to get sunglasses as well because your eyebrows freeze.
Oh, yeah.
That's one
Yeah.
problem. But yeah, but indoors is great. Just have to walk 8 hours and be indoors most of the time.
If you're taking some things from India, Decathlon, the ski mask, that was really helpful for me. It covers everything but your eyes, and you're gonna look terrible, but it really helps go. So I would advise Decathlon ski mask for if you're doing some wind shopping from here. You tell me your thoughts.
I think I personally love the cold. Like it was a really fun experience, and also because I'm from Rajasthan, so I never get the cold. So it was really fun for me to like experience the snow. And I think for most of us, like, that would be like, we've never been in a cabin that's cold and we're not sweating the whole day. So I think it was really like a good time. But I would say that an investment in your cold jacket is a must. Like, of course, you're going to be using that for after that if you decide to stay and do like a PhD or something. But I think be to cover all your bases. Like I didn't realize that I needed a scarf, and then I got so many scarves in Chicago. And you should like get the wool scarves. That's really, really helpful. And I also would echo the fact that you need boots as well. Like the sludge gets really bad. But I think other than that, it's perfectly fine. It will still go away in 2 days, and you're not going to be you're not going to get attacked by this. Like you're going to be completely fine. And it's going to be a fun experience. I think looking forward to the snow is also a good mindset to have.
What was the lowest temperature that you've experienced in Celsius?
I think -21. Yeah, one day it was -21, but it was really sunny outside, so it balanced it out.
What about you both? The minimum.
It's 21, I think it went, but some of our seniors used to say that -35, 40.
Yeah.
What was yours?
So I was there the year there was the Arctic freeze. I think I love the snow. I enjoyed it.
It's so pretty as well.
I loved it.
Yeah.
But thankfully, I also missed some of the Arctic freeze because I was in California. I thought really reached somewhere. But yeah, it was very, yeah. I could not imagine temperatures that low. Like my imagination extended beyond -10 or
Yeah.
it was fine. I survived.
We got -55.
Yeah, we had an Arctic freeze. Like people's apartments flooded because they forgot to turn on the taps, and so the water froze in the pipes, and my friends' apartments were flooded. These people who live in the basement, so don't get a basement apartment. Just letting you know.
Yeah.
Also, I think during winters, there's a Pass You Go app, so you can plan when you need to get out and get out exactly when you can get into a bus, and you'll get to know when it is going to get -40 or -35. Don't get it on a bus. It's fairly easy, I don't think.
What do you think about grocery stores? Maybe we can start with you. Where do you do your grocery shopping in Hyde Park?
I think because we don't have kitchens of our own, we have a shared kitchen in the dorms, and some dorms have one kitchen for the entire, and then other dorms have kitchens per houses. That's the floors. And so whenever like we do grocery shopping, usually Trader Joe's, which is on if I'm not wrong, and the other one is Target. But I think Trader Joe's, it's so cheap. They have such good food options. They also have frozen food, and they have Indian frozen food. So if you ever are missing like biryanis and stuff, you can always just go there, and it's really cheap. So it's gonna be completely fine. Also, they have everything organic, which is also really fun to experience.
Different types of cheese in Trader Joe's. Just want to add to that. Their cheddar is so good. Like I miss that every once in a while thinking about it. What about you both? Favorite grocery stores around Hyde Park?
I used to shop at Hyde Park Produce.
Mhm.
That was actually, it was right next to my apartment. So that was very cheap. We had fresh fruits, vegetables and stuff like that every day. So that made our life very easy. And then one time my flatmate went to Costco and then got everything, like the big stuff that we had to get. Yeah, Trader Joe's obviously like trusty place that you guys. And then there's Devon Street in Chicago. That is where you get all the Indian, Pakistani food. That's where you get your spices, your like masala, whatever. They have patel.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, where's the Patel brother? I never went there.
Devon Street. It's a bit further away. It's like I think 45 minutes away from Hyde Park. But and you will find enough Indian people, and you find one person in a car, take them. What's the drive? They have like great food. They have Ali in Hari, which is amazing in Hari. I would suggest everyone go there. But yeah, so Devon Street is where we got our Indian groceries whenever we need that. But yeah.
So I'll start with Hyde Park. For people living on 51st, 52nd, Whole Foods is the place they used to go. So again, there is budget and there is proximity. So Whole Foods is the expensive one. And you can, people living on 51st, 52nd, and there's a Regent's Park apartment, a lot of people live in. So maybe prefer Whole Foods, there is Trader Joe's. I think it is one of the best. And Hyde Park Produce, like I said, like veggies, they are good. And also on Wednesday, they have a 10% discount for UChicago students.
Oh, do that.
And there's a half on the 7th, where you need not go to Devon. So for all the Asian and Indian spices and other things, you can go to Harvard. They have most of the things. And even in downtown, there's a Metro Spice.
Yes.
Which has most of the things in case you cannot make it to Devon, which you will only once or twice in your entire year because you'll not find time. And yeah, and for people living on 60th, like us, there's
Chulasco, yes.
Yeah.
Chulasco is great,
Yeah,
I
it's
thought.
great.
Yeah.
I think
It's huge. And if you have a friend to walk with, it's also a nice walk to go there. I think my personal favorite was Target because of how cheap it was. And you could also do a little bit of window shopping of clothes if you want. It's just like lying there. So it was fun. I think Target is fun. It's also like in a very busy street. So it's always a nice time to just be around Target. But yeah, Devon Street, definitely, if you can, you should visit. And you will most likely find people to go to Costco and to go to Devon Street with. Transportation. What were your most used modes of transportation, and what advice do you have for them, for all the incoming students? Maybe we can start with you.
I think coming from India, especially, Ubers are way too expensive in Hyde Park or like just Chicago in general. Like it takes you, it's very expensive. From even the airport, you get like $70 Ubers to go to the campus. So I think if you can prevent falling into the Uber trap, it's going to happen in the first week of college. But then after that, you have to start navigating the public transport system. Also because for undergraduates, they give you a Prerna pass. So like the buses and the red line, green line, every single thing is free for us. So we just need to download a few apps, for example, Pasio Go. Then Google Maps can tell you whenever the next bus is and whenever the next train is going to be. And we have this 63rd and Cottage Grove station, which is the Green Line station. It takes you downtown like straight away. So, and that's completely free as well. And it's very, very convenient. It runs every 15 minutes. And buses are also very convenient. You have the 171 and the 172 that go through campus. And the other ones are like you actually have a UChicago downtown campus connector as well, because they have a campus portion that also run there. I think, I'm not sure, but that is also very easy to navigate. That again is free. So for undergraduates, I think we've lucked out with free transportation, and that is why I think we should stop splurging on Ubers and then just try to navigate public transport. Also, Chicago as a city is very walkable, especially Hyde Park. So if you have to go to 53rd, for example, you grab a bunch of friends and you go walk for 5 minutes and you'll be on the street where you have 53rd Street where they have a bunch of students who can just explore the neighborhood as
I second that. Public transportation in Chicago is very dependable. And walking. Yes, I love walking in Chicago. I think it was the best way to like get to know the city and kind of get to know the area too. Mostly because your classes are like maybe a 20-25 minute walk. And I know in India that sounds like far. But in the US, because lectures are a bit low and it's not crazy windy outside, you can 20 minutes without sweating everything off. So that was also big. And there's like so much, like you can walk to Vermont in Hyde Park.
Yeah.
I guess no one mentioned that, but that was my favorite spot.
I was
Walk to.
picking that up.
Yeah, I was like, it was a 30-minute walk from my apartment, like a straight line, and then there to Lake Michigan in all its glory. It was beautiful. But yeah, walking and take bus. There's a station also at
51st, 51st, 53rd, 55th.
53rd metro. That takes you down.
57th as well, every alternate. Yeah.
And the 6 bus also takes you downtown.
Yeah.
So for all of that, you have like extra passes and like which are pretty accessible by UChicago. I think graduate students also have a
Discount, yeah.
I don't think it's free, but we have a decent discount. So it's like $1 or something, which is very cheap. And we have 10 lifts. So per month.
Lift is gone, right? Yeah.
So we have lifts. We take it in Hyde Park area. I think that's beer now.
it's in the Hyde Park area itself. And sometimes if you get lucky, you get a free one. And it's like, it's very arbitrary. Like it's not really guaranteed, but it's like fun as well.
But is it like a fixed number of passes? This you have?
This is completely like you can do whenever you want. And it runs from 5 p.m. to 4 a.m.
I think it's better than the lift passes because we would have a 10. Yeah.
So you could take it within Hyde Park. So at night, if you're studying in the reg and again, the reg shuts at 12, but you want to like go back home at 12, it's a bit late in the night, you can take the lift. So that was, I guess it's via now.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, enough. I used to walk mostly in Hyde Park, never used to wait for the bus, even if it was 5 minutes, I will walk rather. But on Saturdays and Sundays, the downtown Chicago shuttle doesn't operate. I mean, there are few which will operate the entire Hyde Park circle, but then 172 and 172 are preferred, and people prefer there's bus number 6 and also Metra. And other than that, if you're 3 or 4 people going together, you can also book a lift sometimes when it's get late in the night or something like that. So I think it is fairly easy. People from Delhi, you don't have a metro as good as Delhi metro.
Yeah.
We have UChicago shuttle, which is for that, on Monday to Friday.
Yeah, I think the shuttles it really takes you from as many places as you can think. It's very, very efficient. And if any of you love walking, make the most out of your time in Chicago because it's one of the most walkable cities I've ever been to. You can just walk and keep walking and you don't get tired, you don't get sweaty. So I'm definitely seconding both of you, all of you on that. Like walking is really the best mode of transport. But if you are worried about safety in your initial few weeks, initial few months, the buses are always there. They're very safe. And so are the shuttles. Like they're very safe even if you take it at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m. I think it ends at 4 a.m. The night shuttles, it's very safe to take university transport.
But I think we are the only problem is it pools it, so it might take some time for you to get dropped. Like it will show you the entire Hyde Park before dropping you. But, what the best part is, we plan our grocery shopping around post we have spent 5.
Oh.
We don't have to carry all our stuff, and we can just put it in the car and get driven. So yes. Earlier you could add 3 more people, but people used to do that purposely to get a lift, and we can only add 1 more.
If any of you here are spoiled by Blinkit and Instamart, it's really time to shed that habit. It's not happening in the US. You have to go to the store, pick up your groceries, come back and do all of it. So I think like there was no Instamart or Blinkit when I had left for Chicago, and when I was back, it was there.
So
In Delhi, sorry, in Delhi, not in Chicago. Yeah. It wasn't there before I left, and I was so surprised because it's right there in your doorstep, and I think it really spoils you. So definitely let go of that habit. Tough to get over. What about community? A lot of questions were about what are local spots for students to hang out around campus. So maybe you all could share, like, maybe we can start with the alumni and then go this way. We'll have the more updated one from the 2 of you, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I'm not sure how many you guys are here. So you guys can't drink. Remember that. I think there's blood tap. What, 54th was it?
55th, yeah.
Then Woodlawn.
Yes.
Yeah, Woodlawn tap there. It's like fill to the brim every time you go for some reason evening. What else? I
Not that the university was great.
but like the undergrads
Yeah.
can't go there.
There are fewer undergrads than grads.
So basically, undergrad students for like 21 only then.
Only
If you go in the
I don't know. It's
I don't know. Yeah.
If you go to the INOS basement and you show them your ID card, they let you into the secret club. It's just the pub, and I think you can get like a weird passport there. I think Google.
I want to talk about that. Yeah, you go ahead with it.
They give you a free t-shirt for drinking. But the pub was where we used to hang out a lot after classes, and like our professors would also take us to the pub a lot. That was surprising to me as someone who did their undergrad in India. But yeah, I think a lot of us would hang out a lot on campus, but there's also a lot bigger community in Chicago itself, like the city. There's a lot of places to like chill and have fun or like party in case that's something that you're interested in. There's like Boys Town, that's great. That's a good, very safe line. There's the Billionaires. What's that street?
Mile High Club. No, something mile. Sorry.
Magnificent Mile.
Magnificent Mile. Yes. Sorry.
The Magnificent Mile where the good clubs are. I don't know why I'm telling you about clubs. I'm not the kind of person who clubs that much, but there's that. And then in the Hyde Park area itself, there's a lot of restaurants. There's a Italian restaurant right on 55th Street. That's really good.
Small Cheval.
No, Small Cheval is on 53rd Street. It was right in front of my house. Nella's.
Yes.
Small Cheval is the best burgers I've ever had in my entire life.
You can note it down. Small Cheval.
I think I dream about them like at least once a week. And then there's Cafe 50.
Cafe 53.
That's also on 53rd Street. And that's where you get like the cheaper but good coffee. And the bagels are also to die for. Actually, there's a lot about Chicago food. Chicago food is great. I think there's a Nathan's also on 53rd Street.
There
If you
is.
want to have like the Chicago hot dog. It was a distinct culinary experience. Let's put it like that. And then there's the noodles, etc. that has like Thai stuff. I don't know, I'm just, you can see that my community was eating food, but I was living with a bunch of Indians, so all they did was do pasta and was eat food or cook food. But yeah, so that's like.
Not food, like community, hangout spots. It could be more than that.
A lot of, I can't even name here, but there are a lot of student organizations of your region, like whatever you want to do, you'll find. So, for example, there is a running club, there is a boxing club. I mean, there's every kind of in Chicago, so you can do whatever you like. And there are different country clubs at different schools as well and Chicago. And for all the graduate students, there is a grad lounge where all the graduates used to go for free coffee and just work, study, or hang out. I used to go to the Promontory Point. That is one place you would all go, and you can walk right from Hyde Park to downtown, right beside the lakes. People cycle, people walk. I think you'll find everything in Chicago in terms of community in UChicago. You need to go out of UChicago, at least you're a student. There is enough you'll not be able to explore, even in your 4 years.
Yeah.
So,
I think in terms of community for undergraduates, this is going to sound very new Chicago. Libraries are very good. But a lot of undergraduate students go to the A level in the reg and will genuinely nap there instead of working. But it's also a very good place for you to have study groups or meetings for your clubs wherever you want to go. And again, student organizations on campus, they're called RSOs. They're very they're very good places to meet people of your similar interests, and then through that you find community. And again, there's for South Asians, there's a SASA community, so they have a lot of events. They have free food most of the time, and you get to go meet a lot of people from ranging from like under to master's students, grad students, and then you get to explore your culture again in a different light completely. And again, student lounges in the residence halls are also very nice for community. And I think talking to people in your classes, again, because you choose classes based on interest most of the time. So talking to people in your classes is also very helpful. And there's, I think that people would stick around, there's toxic negative people at Chicago. You will find some people like that, but also your hardest classes are the ones that bond you the most with people. And you find there's no lack of good people. So I think as long as you're willing enough to reach out to people and talk to them in an academic setting or even outside of that, you are going to be fine.
Yeah, like in terms of community, I think one thing I can tell you guys is the Wednesday $1 shake. It's a very fun thing to do with friends. Every Wednesday, was it Reynolds Club? Reynolds Club has shakes for $1 during the lunch hour, so you can just go there with your friends. You can make really fancy shake. Like I used to have a chocolate shake with so much cream and sprinkles and everything. Most of the time I would struggle to finish it, but I would be like, it's $1 and I have to do it. Like I have to. And beer passport is something you mentioned. So there are 10 weeks a quarter owned for grad students. Out of the 10 weeks, if you go to the pub and have a beer from the beer passport menu for 8 out of those 10 weeks, you get a free t-shirt. And you get a passport in which, you get your stamp. So it's just like another community thing that if you really like beers, it's something you can do.
Trivia night also.
There's trivia in the pub. Tuesdays are trivia nights. And I think the point the two of you have mentioned is enough. I think about the point so much. Especially is locked. You don't have something like Lake Michigan that was so swimmable also. Like it was cold half the year, but when it did get warmer, you could go and you could just feel it was my favorite part of Chicago. I really miss that. There's a beach, there are rocks, you can go sit there with your friends, watch the sunrise, sunset, and it's a beautiful like bonding point for everyone. And it's really safe. We even got to see the Northern Lights. You didn't, your batch didn't, yeah. I got to see the Northern Lights. Did you guys also see it? Yeah. So it's a beautiful place. You guys will really enjoy Chicago. Work opportunities, summer internships, research work during the quarter. Maybe we can start with, I know you were doing TA-ships and RA-ships, and you had a 1-year master's. So we can go from 1 year term, 4 year, and get that experience full spectrum.
So I was working as an RA for one of the professors in the department, and eventually the person who I wanted to write my thesis with. And so I RA'd for about the professor. So basically, you're on an F1, right? You can only work 20 hours a week, I think, if I'm right.
Yeah.
And those 20 hours, you get paid basically minimum wage if you're an RA.
A TA gets paid a bit more, but if you're an international student and you have a one, it's very hard to find a TA position, mostly because you yourself have not experienced how UChicago trains its students to teach or learn how to study. You're just grasping. So I did TA in my last quarter for a professor. Actually, it was a class for the college in the global studies department. And all of these positions were like, I emailed a lot of people. I also, if you have done your undergrad here and you have advisors who wrote your recommendations, please beg them to write to people they know at Chicago. That's the best way to get them to notice your emails, because they would be getting a lot of master's students from a lot of departments, writing them emails for like getting them RA, getting them on a project, etc. But have your advisor's word come in, that's like pays in the long term. So that's how I also got the UChicago Summit. So that was for around $4,000. And if you're a graduate student, I think you can apply for it. My program had one. I'm sure others do too. I know MAPS had one.
It was for the social sciences and humanities, as far as I know.
Yeah.
And then I think other schools, Harris, but I know MAPS, CIR, MAPH, all of these had.
Yeah, so I got, like, you can basically get a cap of $4,000, and I got the full thing. I was interning with Scroll over the summer in India, so I came back after my master's. I was working at but talk to your preceptors in your masters, people who will be assigned to you. So the very good thing about UChicago is that they're very annoying and they will get behind you to get stuff done. And so it was my preceptors who actually forced me to apply or write applications in very short applications. If you're just lazy like me, who find like 500 like excuses to not do it, just do it. It's a lot of, I don't know, easy, but it's money that's been sanctioned off for you and you should be using it. And which is what my preceptor said that I should be doing, because otherwise it's just like, they're not going to spend that money anywhere else. So I got that. Yeah, and then I was basically back in India and I was working here. But essentially, yes. And also they have an amazing career service office, which I'm still in touch with, actually. They did an amazing PhD camp and they were basically responsible for coaching me through my PhD applications. This is all like free of cost. They'll do it for you till you're like 5 years post their undergrad. Like, it's insane how much they'll invest in you. But keep in touch with these people. These are the people who will eventually get you in touch with the right people. And yeah, that was, I think, what my experience was. But yeah, hope this.
So I think I've been fortunate enough for work opportunities in Chicago. So I started working in the very first month. So I started working at the tech bar first, but I got a TA opportunity in the second month of the first quarter. Then post that, I've been doing 2-hour shifts, and my summer I could choose any country of my liking, and I could go there, and it was well funded for you to carry whatever you want, and they'll find you a mentor in the country of your choice, med school. So I was connected to a mentor at multiple institutes across India. Yeah, you get a lot of things, but I think you'll have to put in effort to get any of the things there. So for people who don't have work experience, can start with working with any of the departments like career office, or there are multiple fellowships as well. You can work at the tech bar, that will pay you the minimum wage, but there are opportunities to pay you 18, 19, 20, 25, depending on the professor and the fund they have. But yeah, you'll have to balance your experience or your liking plus the professor work, but there are enough opportunities for everyone is what trying to find anything there. But then that maybe to come up later or sooner, but everyone got something. So yeah.
I think Harris also has a very supportive system, and they really help you get like these part-time roles. Like within Harris, a lot of people from my friends, they had been.
I think for me, I did not look much for individual support. There are career counseling and academic advisor will help you out, but there are different portals and you can find a professor who is working on what, and you'll have to do that grunt work and send emails, talk to people, and do it all on your own. Or if you want advice, want to talk to a career counselor, you cannot do that. But there are enough systems in place to find and connect you to opportunities like that. Is where all the UChicago opportunities are posted. For Harris, there is a different portal, Harris link, that will post all the UChicago opportunities plus the Harris opportunity. So there's enough for everyone. It's just that you'll have to put in work, do assignments or whatever they ask you to do, get through. And
I think, as Swapna mentioned, we're very lucky to have career advancement constantly sending us emails and telling us reminders that we should sign up for these things. Undergraduates also career advisor, and the portal for undergraduates to find some sorts of internships or even RA opportunities. And they have a lot of listings on there. They have events, they have whatever career you're interested in, and even other fields. They have everything listed out. And cold emailing also works. And also, I think even if you just want to make some money, like some cash, I think minimum wage jobs are some things that you can look for. There is a neighborhood schools program that you can sign up for, which is basically like tutoring neighborhood schools in Chicago. And then there is a note-taking opportunity that you can sign up to. You take notes for the class that you take, and then you get paid from the SDS office. So these are like options available. I think Handshake makes it the most accessible.
Can you clarify what SDS is?
Student Disability Services.
There are also opportunities in like proctoring exams, and those are also other opportunities in minimum wage, which you all can explore.
And I think there are other opportunities which work. They're paired with a stipend. It's not actually work, but you get a good sum for, there are different opportunities. For example, there is a iHouse fellowship. People have, I think the deadline had passed now. People apply to, and you work for, so your hours are not counted, but you get paid for like say 3,000, 2,000, 1,000. So I was part of a diversity advisory board. They used to work like 2 hours, 3 hours every week and get 200 every quarter. And so you can find interesting opportunities where you gain experience and also get some stipend as well, which will not count your hours. So in case you don't want to work hours, that is one thing you can look up.
Both of you did a summer internship, like you mentioned, and you are currently doing one. Have you done summer internship? This is your first summer since you have, and you are doing a fellowship right now. So what is like a good time for students to start looking for opportunities for the summer, and like when did you all start applying for these internships? If you remember, I mean, I know it's been a while for you, but
No, the thing is that a lot of my work here in India actually has been like with my alma mater, like my undergrad institution. So my internship was in collaboration with one of the professors I'd already worked with before. And because I was getting my own funding, it was a bit easier to, which it was very easy to say that I'm work for free basically for you. But yeah, I think a lot of people who were applying for internships and a lot of people got these grants to work with professors in UChicago also. So one of my friends worked with a professor who didn't have his own funding at the time, but she got the career grant. So she worked with the professor in our department. I think you have to max, like at least start January, like start telling them that you are like, you should keep me in mind. I'm planning on applying this. I think there are deadlines for like fellowships and internships, which I personally do not engage with, so I wouldn't know. But with professors, I know that it's just like you have to keep them in the loop the entire time. So as you're writing your application, just keep telling them, I've done this is in process. Just wanted to let you know. Don't be annoying, but like this is just generally how the timeline works.
For the fields I know, consulting, you will have to start by September, close by October, November. I think most of the deadline will get over in October. So as soon as you land in Chicago, if consulting is a field, you should start preparing your resumes and start application and track the deadlines as well. But for people in international development, naming the fields, so International development is when December or January. But people who don't want to do their academic aspirations, they continue working with professor of their life over the summers, and in summers, based on your school and preference, you can work full time with the professor and get paid for it. In UChicago, if you find a professor or anywhere, if have academic aspirations. And yeah, and Harris School also funds you if in case you want to do internship of your liking, so you're funding yourself to do whatever you want. Yeah, I think this is.
Yeah, thank you. Do you have anything to add to this conversation? Like any internships that you're looking for the rest of summer?
I think it is something that a lot of people explore after second. I think second year is known to be like a very, I think, job searching or an internship searching year. And I'm kind of scared for that because a lot of us here are 10 years as well. But we just like in the first year, we're advised to do something productive over the summer. And it doesn't have to be something related directly to your major because most of us are still exploring majors. So yeah, I'm not thinking about anything right now, but after second year, yes, you have to. Yeah.
I have just one last question, then we can open up a Q&A. There is a saying which says the fun goes to Chicago. Right. Love it. What are your thoughts on this? Agree, disagree? We should start with you. You're an undergrad. Has fun gone to die? You Chicago?
In some classes, yes. Please don't take 8 a.m. But otherwise, I think it's been fine. Obviously, sometimes people experience seasonal depression, and that is, so, like, sadly, it is real. But I guess you just have to power through.
Yeah. What about you?
I think so. In a day, you have multiple meetings. You need to start making your own calendar. So if you have a class, put it on your calendar. You'll do it on your own in 2 quarters at max. But I suggest you should do it. And you get busy. So, but fun also become part of your busy schedule. So there are events, meetings, and dinner, birthdays and everything, and you'll have to make to most of it. So if that's what it means, one goes to die.
I mean, fun can be work for some people. Work is fun for some people, and some people differentiate the two. Prerna, what are your thoughts?
So my master's was very accelerated, with 9 months, and I basically had to write a 1,000-word thesis in the 9 months. I also finished 3/4 of classes. It was a lot. I understood in my last quarter when I was writing my thesis, spending 12 hours in the reg. Why they say where fun goes to die. Because I was literally I never see like how Chicago there. Like people were living out of the reg. But I think it's because Hyde Park itself is a place which is like just into Chicago basically. Their place just caters to us. It's a small community. And so with this small community, I think generally it's fun. You'll always be engaged doing something. So I think if it's not fun, you will be busy. So I don't know where fun goes to die, but I can understand this in like now that I'm looking back, I can see that a lot of the people I admired who went to Chicago, some very famous people, all went a bit crazy towards the end of their life. So it's probably like something about the class. I'm joking. But yeah, I think UChicago is. I had a lot of fun in that 1 year. Like it was one of the best experiences of my life. If I could go back there and they would have admitted me for the PhD, I would have gone without considering an option. But they didn't. My fault. But I think you guys have the opportunity to go there. So I would say have fun. Like, take it like just don't stress. Was something. I know it sounds like uncle advice, but it's the only advice to give, really. But yeah.
I think there are a lot of opportunities to have fun. So I don't agree with this at all. Like, what do you all say? Like, there are so many college students here. Has fun gone to die for anyone here?
College students have a lot of fun, by the way.
But college students also have a lot of like, it's a lot more rigorous in some ways for you. Like it's very different from the grad school, is what I've also heard. So, I mean, I guess you all have testimonies here that fun hasn't gone to die officially for anyone. So you will have a good time. Now maybe we can go start. Do we have questions from here? People who are joining virtually can send their questions in the chat box, or they can also, we can unmute you and you can speak. So anyone who came late, missed anything? Yes.
I have a very specific question for you. So I'm also doing the map psychology program. So it's a very specific question to you because I'm also admitted to the map psychology program. And I was wondering because like originally, if you talk about any other institution, it's a 2-year degree, usually a master's. Do you feel like 9 months were enough? But if you not just learn, but learn holistically in a way that you were not just head in the book kind of situation?
So learning, I would say, was fine. I think there are some things that you have to sort of then compromise on, which is probably like, if your long-term plan is to stay in the US and have like some sort of corporate career, I think it takes a bit longer than 9 months to establish that. And I'm being honest. I think as someone like me who was very sure that I wanted to do a PhD after those 9 months.
Me too.
Yeah.
So-
So I know that MAPS and CIR, they're like sister programs, right? So CIR specifically targets people who want to do a PhD, and basically it's like a bridging, right? Because I have an Indian undergrad, a UChicago master's degree looks great on PhD applications. And so for that, I think it's perfect because you are a small cohort, you get to work very closely with professors. And in those, I think those 9 months are enough to like at least have a great relationship with your thesis advisor and your preceptor, which is really all you need because you need one recommendation from your undergrad too. For that, I think it's perfect. So I think it's a good option for people who generally want to do a career in academia, for sure. She did the maths program, so she can.
Yeah, I was in maths anthropology, but I think another way one can make it a little bit longer is to opt for the summer thesis instead of graduating in 9 months. I, like her, I finished 9 courses, like 3/4 plus a thesis in the 9 months. Partly because one, I knew I wanted to come back to India, and so it didn't make sense to stay the summer, pay extra rent. And two, because the only way to walk the convocation is to graduate in June, unless you have like the other option is to wait a whole year and graduate next year, walk the convocation next year. But you do get your degree if you submit your thesis in August. So that is one, if you wish to like connect with more people, have more time to network, look for opportunities to work, you could opt for the summer thesis. And that's a way for you to prolong your stay a little bit.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions? Yes, please. Here.
Hi, I have two questions. One is regarding safety.
Can you speak a little closer?
One is regarding safety near the Washington Park area. So I've heard from a few friends of mine who study UChicago, and they've recommended me not to take apartments on 52nd Street next to Washington Park. So I just want to get your thoughts on that.
I lived on 52nd Street, right? Like my apartment was 522, it was at the end of 52nd Street, almost on 53rd Street. I think it was very, very safe there.
But you said that you live next to it, right?
Yes.
So
That's 52nd Street.
I'm talking about the west side, next to Washington Park.
Yeah,
Yeah, sure.
Probably you want to stay north of Washington Park. I'm not saying that it's not safe, but I think it'll be a better idea if you're a little bit more north of there.
Sure.
Yeah, because he's like going on the second very far south, yeah.
West.
And west, yeah.
But that would be further away from campus too.
Further away
It would
from
be a
campus too.
longer commute.
Yeah, exactly. And there won't be a UChicago community there. So I think it'll be better for you if you're a little bit closer to campus, north and east.
Following up with this question, just wanted to know about the 61st as well in this venue, if somebody has any idea.
I lived on the 61st Street on South Ellis Avenue. I found it very safe. The two houses right next to me weren't UChicago students. It was families who were just living in Hyde Park, but opposite, right across the street, it was 2 or 3 buildings full of UChicago students. So that was great. I have this, sorry. Yeah, so I could be out late at night and it wasn't an issue. In fact, 61st Street had very good connectivity to what program? Yeah, it's really close to Harris. So it's a location to consider. South Ellis Avenue is like the whole street just takes you to the reg to Ratner, which is the gym, and like it's just a very nice street. So we are on the south side of that street. If you are on 61st, I don't think it's unsafe. I never felt unsafe. Maybe don't go beyond 61st. I had a lot of friends who also lived on the 61st Street. So you could definitely, like anyone doing an MPP can consider, especially because of the lower rate of rent. 61st. So yeah. You had a second question, if I'm not wrong. Yes, please continue. Yeah.
So it's related to the appointment situation right now. So what are the precautions or plans made by the college for students who have not been able to book their appointments?
So we're not in a position to help with any visa inquiries, but there was a session that was held for incoming from Asia where visa was specifically addressed. There is a recording of that session, so I can email that to you if you just send me right after the session. And if all of you wish to have a recording of that session, to all of you as well, if that would be helpful. More questions. There are 2 here. We'll go with her and then.
Hello. Thank you so much for all this information. Very put us in that space to be thinking about those things. I had one question about TA and RA opportunities. I hear that there's a portal on which these opportunities are posted, but do we have to be proactive about these things and informed that such opportunities are available to these for us? I think.
Wait, are you MPP?
Yeah.
You should answer.
For all grad students, we get weekly notification of all the opportunities, but we get so many emails about so many things that whatever you want, we have to be very proactive about. I mean, just applying doesn't help sometimes as well. So going out and meeting people before applying or finding events where people of your preference and work are coming, like there are different centers at UChicago and they host different events where you can go and then talk about opportunities and everything. So yeah, you'll have to be very proactive, but we do get. So we get emails for everything. We don't, I mean, nothing is withholded. Everything is public information.
Okay. Okay. One more question.
Yeah.
I'm allowed to. So I hear, I mean, this is my first time being in the US. I hear that there are some areas to avoid with respect to safety. So is there any document or from where do I understand that these areas are be avoided using public transport or if I'm walking? Or is it just by feeling?
Don't go beyond 60 seconds.
In Hyde Park, I think, Swapna, would you say not beyond 50%, 60 second? Like, is that the boundary you would say?
Second, yeah, then I would say, just be cautious. A lot of it, I think you will learn by experience, but just to be on the safe side, 60 seconds should be probably a place that you stay north of.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
And
the further south you go from the university, it's a little bit more, I don't want to say unsafe, but you have to be a little bit more precautious. So stay as close to the campus as possible and north.
Don't walk alone if you don't know the lane or neighborhood is what I would say. Take public transport and get down to the place where you want to go directly, and don't walk to a place you're not comfortable, and you'll feel that.
Yeah.
yeah.
I would say it's being in Chicago, being in Hyde Park is like being in any big city, in any big urban, city. So you just have to have your wits about you. You have to make sensible decisions. If it makes you feel any better, I live in Hyde Park. I have raised a girl, my daughter, in Hyde Park, and I feel perfectly safe and perfectly comfortable. You just have to be aware. That's the thing.
Go ahead.
So my second question was, so I also studied in an undergraduate institution that was in the US. I was in New York, and the grad student involvement in the 80+ student clubs and organizations, so to say, was minimal as compared to the undergraduate. I'm wondering if that's a similar case with UChicago. Do you just not have the time to get involved with clubs and organizations, or how does that work?
Yeah, please.
I think I've seen a lot of grad students in like cultural that's because I'm part of an archipelago and we had a few grad students. And also for SASA and there's like there's a Pakistani Student Association. So there's a lot of opportunities for cultural things. And there the grad student involvement is way higher. Some clubs are obviously catering to undergraduates more, but there are many opportunities still for grad students to interact with undergrads. And there's a lot of, like, for example, a lot of classes of the requirement for a Harris or Booth mentor or something of that sort. So they connect you to undergraduate students by default. So that is also something that there.
Yes.
I have two questions. So my first question is regarding selection of topics and courses between multiple schools. So I'm going to go study NPP at Harris, but there are some courses in finance which I'm very interested in UChicago Booth. So how does that selection works? What is the timeline? Who do we speak to? This is my first question.
So I think for MPP, we can, for 2 years program, you can do 18 courses, 12 should be from Harris, and 6 you can take from other schools. But for the first 2 quarters, we are busy with the core courses, and it's when we cannot take any other courses. But there's a way you can waive those courses if you meet the prerequisite and pass those exams, which is not easy, even if you have studied. And if you can get through that, you can choose any course of your liking at Harris, 12 courses, 6 courses outside of Harris, law school, Booth, wherever you want. But there are enough for you to take across Harris and all across. I think that's from other than cost important.
Thank you. My second question is more about the job perspective, and I'm not only talking about internships. Say, for example, I want to go into the consulting field, and I do have an experience in India working for 6 years. I've heard about there are some pro bono consulting courses or opportunities at Harris that happens. Just wanted to know your perspective about it and how does it help in your preparation for especially targeting the Big Four, targeting the McKinseys and BCGs.
So I think for me, I come from the consulting field, but I don't want to continue consulting field. But about consulting, I think, so there are enough opportunities for you to gain experience while you're doing your degree to prepare for whatever kind of role you want to take in future. And how that will help, that can help you through people you know through that opportunity, can help you because of the experience you have gained. So it's very broad. I mean, everything has to be right to be there, I think. So it works that you have a course and the teachers know you and you're good enough and it worked for you to get a job. You work as an RA and work continues as a job. So all opportunities are there. But right now, I don't think there is a direct linear path to it. So I think you'll have to explore that once you're there.
Any other questions? Yes.
Hi. My question is about project labs. Like, how useful are those? Do you recommend taking them?
I recommend doing everything you've not done before at UChicago. So I think you should be doing everything. You should go to the pub, you should be working at the centers. I mean, there are, for 2 years, I think that the course is designed in a way that in some quarters you can be in a lab and that will act as a course for you.
You get credit for it?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Paris policy has. But yeah, every experience is worth it, I think. By doing it, you might feel that there's so much that you're not learning, but like every grad school, this is my second master's. Once you look back, once you're done, you feel that, you have learned a bit?
I have one question. You have, okay, we'll go here and then here. And are there any more questions? Because then we can check if the online participants have any, no question line? No? Okay, great. Then we have more time for question.
Thank you. Thank you so much for all the information session. So I'm Trembakam and I would be joining MapsEcon.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, hi. Hi Shyamji, we got in touch before. So just because I also have an aspiration to do PhD, like I wanted to understand like how can we structure the program more towards like doing a research and PhD eventually, and like so I also like had an offer from MaxEcon, so I was trying to decide like what is better. So if I have less training in econ, should I go for like more courses, or it is maps plus a pre-doc or some other work and then like a PhD, especially since you've been through the process, maybe you can guide us.
Okay, so I did not apply for an econ PhD. I do econ PhD like a whole different process. But my recommendation would be to use to fill in the gaps that you have in your own previous coursework with the time you have at Chicago. So for example, if I was someone who wanted to do an econ PhD and I hadn't done very well in, say, my macro requirements in my undergrad, I would be focusing on that for my master's in that coursework. Because I think a lot of the econ PhD, at least baseline theorems for your application would be your grades, and they matter a lot. And as much as anyone tells you that it's a process which is grade agnostic, it's not. Like you need a GPA over 3.8, you need to be like doing that. You need a good GRE score, etc., etc. So I would suggest doing that. For me, for instance, a lot of the courses that I took were I did 2 PhD seminar courses. Both were in fields that were kind of things that I was interested in. So one was comparative politics, which was something that I wanted to apply for my PhD, and one was a Civil War PhD seminar course. So I think those courses kind of trained me very well to work a lot on my writing sample, which is something that would be taken into consideration when you're applying for your PhD, like that thesis that you submit. So that's very important. So you need to make the thesis that you write at UChicago one of the best, most polished written works that you've done. So that was a thing that, but yeah, I think the best use of your time would be to actually go look at the programs that you apply to, and then see what are the kind of students that make it to those programs, and then see where you're lacking. So for example, if you want to do a PhD in labor economics, right, and you don't have any background in labor, but that's something that you have an interesting question that you want to explore, then try looking to take courses that fill the requirement that you would need, the skills that you would need for a PhD. And yes, for econ, I think it's now an unsaid rule to do a pre-doc. So, but you have the world's best econ right on campus. So the Becker-Friedman Institute hires very regularly pre-docs. I would suggest just doing an RA-ship while you're there and then trying to convert that into a pre-doc. And then during doc at least, that's how studying econ would go. For IR, it's a bit different, but that's how I understand how my friends got into econ PhDs. Does that answer your question?
Can I ask a small
Yeah.
So I come from an engineering background, transitioning to economics. So I also wanted to understand, you have taken courses, like how many courses you can take per quarter, also like the amount of workload you have. Is it kind of take 4, 3, what?
No, so
It's a cap on 3.
yeah, so you did for 3 courses. And then I had a thesis course, I don't know if
Maps doesn't, no,
Okay.
Maps, it's just.
We had 4 courses. The 4th course was the thesis seminar kind of course, where you basically just started ideating a thesis from the first day with a preceptor. My program was a bit smaller, but so I think you can just take 3 courses a quarter, and I think it's 9 months, right?
Yeah, it's 9 months.
Yeah, so
I was in maps and I was transitioning fields, like I was political science in my undergrad. I wanted to switch to anthropology. So how I designed my courses is that I really took a lot of anthro courses, as many as I could. So for like within econ, like she said, just find what you want to do a PhD towards and take as many courses in that stream as you can. And I think Harris also hires pre-docs in econ. I know that. And like she said, Becker Friedman Institute. And you'll find, I think for econ, Chicago is really the place to be. You will find a lot of opportunities there to do a pre-doc. But if you do want to do a PhD, it would be a wiser path to, given you don't have a background in economics yet, a pre-doc in econ would really help you towards your application. So hope that helps. Yeah.
Just one tiny last thing. So when applying for your PhD programs, of course, you mentioned that you applied to UChicago itself. And were there any other places you applied to? And obviously the one that you're going to in DC would probably be one of them. And how did UChicago kind of help you decide whether you want to work or do your doctorate?
So I was pretty certain that I wanted to do a PhD before I went to UChicago. So that was why I chose this specific program. So I applied to 10 schools and I got through to 2, and then I ended up picking the one where I'm going. And, so I don't know about MAPS, but for CIR, we have a PhD boot camp kind of situation. It starts so for example, if you're applying this fall, the camp starts in April. And so through the summer, they will push you to email all your prospective recommenders, like the 3 or 4 recommenders that you need on your side to be writing recommendations for you. And by like August, they'll see you on the SOP writing process, which is one of the most important process, like part of at least in the humanities and the social sciences. And then they assign you into pairs. And so you workshop that particular SOP like 5-6 times till it's like polishable material. They make you get in touch with your recommenders, make sure that they push materials. They themselves would read it through a couple of times to make sure that it's worth submitting. And it's on your CV. They'll also help with your writing sample. So it's like, it was very deep involvement into, but I'm not sure if that's the same for MAPS.
We don't have the paired workshopping, but everything else is pretty much the same. You have a PhD list that you have to like enroll yourself in. They'll send out like, if you want to be in the PhD list, put your email. I've been in the list this year. So you'll get those updates. Like now they're encouraging you to start reaching out to recommend like whoever is going to be writing you your letters. I think April is when I got the first email, and they asked us to get in touch with the faculty where you want to, who you want to work with for a PhD.
So I don't know about psychology. It's not mandatory in political science and IR to do that. Actually, it's like totally like they tell us don't do it. Mostly because they get so many applications a year, it's very hard for the people who you want to work with to reply back. And because you work in a specific niche, so like for example, you're working on South Asia, there's probably one person per department that's working on South Asia that's getting like 100 emails a year saying, hello, professor, I want to work with, expect for them to reply. So that was what was told to me as someone, but each discipline has their own list of requirements. So psychology has labs that you can like enroll in, right? So that would be different. And if you're from New York, I'm guessing NYU is one of your like top choices.
Actually, I didn't apply there.
No?
Rutgers was one of my top ones. I applied for the doctorate and they rejected me. So
It's okay. Getting into PhD out of undergrad is really hard. But yeah, in general, I think they were very invested. They even like made us like the PhD shortlist process is insane. They made me shortlist 20 schools that I wanted to apply to and 5 faculty in each school.
Yeah.
And then rate each faculty in terms of like the 5 metrics. I was sitting on an Excel sheet, just like, I had someone like, what if I just ask someone to make up names? Will they?
But you can ask ChatGPT.
That's against my ethos as a researcher. But yeah, so it's going to be like this is my second cycle. I didn't get it last year. So this is the last year I applied to 8 out of 8 rejections. Technically this year also there were 8 rejections. But yeah, so don't get disheartened. It's a very tough economy. There are no stipends, as we know what's happening there. But yeah.
Yeah. Any other questions?
I wanted to know about the maths exam, which is mandatory, I think, for all of us in the room to give, or just for Harris, I'm not sure. But
So what
Harris.
Oh, yeah. Never.
So just if you could highlight like how do you prepare? Like is it too much taxing?
What this?
Too much
So the
studying?
maths exam, once you're there is a crash course kind of thing, jumpstart. So they teach you before they take your exam, and it's not that unless you don't want to be taught. And you have all the recorded lectures for those courses as well, and there are modules, so it is pretty much doable. I don't think that would be a problem for you.
Not hard like India engineering level maths hard,
It will
right?
be applied, yes. It will not be that hard. And for the PhD, I heard from the people who are doing PhDs, I think there are hidden courses which those professors like that you have taken before in your undergrad and other than that. So I think you should, so for example, for the econ people, some of the professors prefer, I mean, it's a prerequisite. They'll check if you have taken real analysis or not. What a grade you got in that. So you should be taking those courses. If you fear about the grade, there is a pass fail. You can opt, but don't miss out on those courses. If you speak to the people that tell okay, you need to get, you should be doing this courses. Fear that your grade will be hampered, then you can opt for pass fail, but still taking that course is really good.
Any questions? Anyone from here? Before we break for snacks, do you all want to introduce yourselves? I mean, I think a lot of you have the name tags, but your names and the course you'll be joining. Should we start with there? Should we start with you? Yeah, we'll just pass around the mic. You need to leave? Okay. Can we get a group photo because he has to leave and then we can like get back to introduction. I really wanted a group photograph. So can we all line up in the red? And then we can photo click. Is that me? Will it be fine? Up the lighting. We can all layer up in the seating area. So can all of you like line up in here and in the gallery accordingly? No, don't worry. No, thank you for here. Thank you so much. Here. We can we can all just be here. Where's the it's fine. Can you all come closer? Can we? I think it's a huge classroom, so. Swapna, join us. Please, please, please come in. And Shri will help. Join in the photo. All everyone. Can you make sure all of us are there? Yeah. Okay. Great. Thank you. Whoa, that was a lot. Do we still want to do the introductions or do you want to informally mix up at the reception? Yes. You want this? Okay. Another, yeah, another photograph here.
Oh, okay. So I appreciate it.
Can you all join this quickly for another? He's asking for a cappella group. I mean, I'm like,
Do we like?
fire. She's an production outside while I'm an art. Yeah, even Parjanya outside.
Oh, really cool.
She's fake though. She doesn't know. I did for like that we don't. I am typical divide. Undergrad. of 5 joining, but these are all for students right now. They are for a fellowship program. Yeah. Come guys, this way. Oh, okay, everyone's shy. Everyone here is shy. Just come. Can we have the track students? I think you all are less shy after photographs with you all today. And it's been 2 more days of this. For that.
The same thing.
Yeah, it's the same thing here. You guys want to join for the photograph? We're doing another this side. All of you students, right? Come in. All students join in. Okay. Can I say something there?
Oversight बंद करो face.
Thank you so much. The reception that way, you can exit from that gate or. I think no, I got my